You're listening to The Drew Yari Show.
That's the wine and diner with kings and queens.
You're looking at the man. You're listening to The Drew Yari Show.
Wednesday Night Wars have come, and now they're gone. Well, not officially gone, but the first night of the Wednesday Night Wars are now officially over. And it's been a long time, guys. It's been 2 weeks. Episode 100 was 2 weeks ago. Now we're about to start on the adventure to another 100 episodes. So, welcome back to the show, guys. Episode 101 of The Drew Yari Show. It is Wednesday, October the 2nd, 9:39 p.m. I know I kept changing up the times, because originally I wanted to start... How much did NXT overrun? I have it on my DVR. We'll hop into the live show feed, trademark. I originally said 9:15. I think NXT ended at 9:05. I didn't think it was going to overrun that much. I mean, it wasn't like a whole lot that it went over. I think it was like maybe 5 minutes, maybe 4 or 5 minutes. But I just assumed everything was going to end at 9. But obviously, Yosei got the okay to, or gave WWE the okay to go a little bit over or go a couple minutes over, which I thought that was going to be Dunsky, but whatever. So it started at 9:30, and then as soon as NXT was over, I put on my laptop, I repair everything, I plug in all my equipment, and I turn on my laptop, I make sure everything starts running, because usually, as soon as I turn my laptop on and log in, that's when Discord is usually the first thing to pop up. It automatically logs me in, and it automatically opens up and logs me in. So once I go to the restroom, come back, Discord isn't up. So I open up Spreaker first. It opens up, without a hitch. It's fine. I go to open Discord. Does not want to open. Click on it again. Does not want to open. Click on it again. Does not want to open. So for whatever reason, Discord was just refusing to open for me. I have no idea why. Never has happened before, and and obviously, as you guys know me, it was pissing me the fuck off. So I had to not restart, but I logged off my profile, logged back in, and then what's the first thing to pop up? Discord. So yeah, we're about we're about 9 months, not 9 months, but 9 months late. So all that matters is that we got to start the show. The show is now live. And we're back. The reason why I didn't do a show last week, I just started this new job. And I still don't understand why. But in your first week, they make you work all week. And it's not just me, it happened to everyone else that was new. They had to work their first full week. Counting my old job and this new job, I've been working for 13 straight days. Up until yesterday. 13 straight. So, have Wednesdays and Thursdays off. I have Wednesdays off to be able to do this show, and Thursdays to do whatever the hell I want. So I'm back. I miss you guys, and let's get this show on the road. Let's start the season premiere of the Charity Show. Before we get into the Wednesday Night Wars, we can talk about Raw for a bit. Raw was okay. The ending was... we'll get to the ending. So the beginning of the show was really in your face. It begins with Rey Mysterio coming out and talking, promote the match he's having with Seth at the end of Raw. for the Universal title. And then Brock comes out and tries to intimidate Ray by taking the mic out of his hand and giving it to Paul. Ray snatches the mic back, and then Brock just proceeds to beat the shit out of Ray. And then Brock looks into the audience and sees Dominic, and then you think it's gonna go one way. You think it's gonna be, I'm gonna just beat the ever living shit out of your dad in front of you. You're not gonna do anything about it. Brock goes one step further, grabs Dominic, and starts beating the shit out of him, which I did not expect that at all. I seriously didn't see that coming, and I fucking loved it. I liked it. And Brock was not taking it easy on Dominic. I had to imagine, because I know Dominic is training to be a wrestler. I know he's been training to be a wrestler for a while, so it shocked me, and then didn't shock me, because it was like, okay, I know he's trying to be a wrestler. I know he's training. I don't know if he's had any matches. I mean, does anyone know if he's had any matches lately? Maybe on like the independent circuit. But yeah, Brock just did not take it easy on him. He was fucking like trying to break him in half. I wouldn't be surprised if you hear that Dominic actually maybe did get hurt a bit, because Brock's not exactly he tends to kind of hurt people a little bit. He's Wreck-It Ralph. But yeah, he beat the shit out of Ray and Dominic. And when they asked Paul Paul Heyman why, Paul blamed it on Vince McMahon. He said, Brock Lesnar should not have had to show up on Raw tonight. Brock Lesnar was in fight mode. It was Vince McMahon's fault. Which, okay, that makes sense. What else happened on Raw? There was Alexa Bliss versus Sasha Banks. I forget how that ended. I think Sasha won. I think Sasha won, and then it ends with Becky and Sasha. And then Sasha had a promo in the back, which goes the way it goes usually. What else happened? Ric Flair and Hogan came out on Miz TV to promote their own Survivor Series type match, Team Flair versus Team Hogan. Team Hogan consisting of Seth Rollins and Rusev, which is interesting. And then Team Flair consisting of Randy Orton and Baron Corbin, and a surprise entrant that you'll find out later in the show. So no Fiend, because you assumed the Fiend was going to attack him, but I'm pretty sure Hogan wasn't going to want to do a job for the Fiend. To quote Julian. He likes to use a lot of Hogan analogies. To quote Julian, that's not my spot, brother. That's not my spot, brother. What else happened in the show? Something else happened in the show. Yeah, Raw was okay in the beginning, and then it got kind of forgetful later. AJ Styles versus Cedric Alexander. Good match, what you expect from these two. Nothing that kind of really stood out, but it was an okay match. AJ winning, which was the right decision. I like Cedric, but Cedric is just going to be the guy that goes out there and gives you good matches, and that's about it. That's his glass ceiling, in my opinion. AJ, as much as I love AJ, I think he's kind of done being a world champion. To me, I wouldn't say his glass ceiling, because his glass ceiling already came. He was already the world champion for over a year. So I think his time in the sun is gone. He's just going to be the guy that goes out there and he wrestles in the mid card. And you know what? That's okay. You don't always need to be in the main event. He's had his time in the sun. He's had success with the WWE, which a lot of people, when he first came into the company, assumed that he was just going to be, the flippy, kicky guy. And he surpassed all expectations. And now he's kind of settling into more of a backseat role, which you know what? There's no shame in that. So, and what else happened? War Raiders versus the Good Brothers, or the club, the OC. The War Raiders winning. The War Raiders seem like they're starting to pick up a little steam. The crowd looks like there's. It seems like the crowd is reacting to them just a little bit. Just a little bit. And if I'm forgetting something, someone please remind me. But I guess we'll just skip to the main event. Main event being Seth Rollins versus Rusev. How this was made was, Ray was taken out of the match to tend to Dominic after he was, pulverized by Brock. And Rusev came out and made the save while Rollins was being attacked by Corbin and Orton. And he came to the back and said, I saved him because I want a favor. I challenge you for your Universal title tonight. So, Rollins versus Rusev. The match was alright, and then it ends with Bobby Lashley making his return. Bobby Lashley is now part of Team Flair. Brings out Lana and makes out with her in front of Rusev. And the Fiend comes out and takes out Rollins. That's the end of Raw. That was fucking stupid. It just, to me, Rusev is a guy who should have been a WWE champion a long time ago. For whatever reason, they insist on, hey, the glass ceiling for him is going to be a U.S. title. Let's keep constantly doing these storylines where somebody wants to fuck his wife. Like, I think Mish said it best when he was on the show last week. Somebody wants to fuck Lana, and they hate the fact that Rusev is fucking her. So they're punishing Rusev because they can't fuck Lana. So in turn, let's have storylines where everybody else is fucking Rusev's wife in front of him. Because it began with, Dolph? Remember that amazing storyline with Dolph? Back in 2015? Where Dolph was fucking, what's it called? He was fucking Lana, and then Rusev was fucking Summer Rae. And then after that, it was Enzo trying to bang Lana. I'm gonna try not to say fuck so much. Enzo trying to bang Lana, and they made Enzo seem like he was the face in that. What happened after that? There's another one after that. I'm forgetting. But I don't know. I wouldn't be surprised. I love Rusev, but he needs to leave the WWE because it just seems like somebody has it out for him. Like somebody wants to bang Lana, and they can't, so they're going to punish Rusev for it, which is dumb. It's just fucking dumb. And they act like Rusev is a schlubby looking guy. I mean, he's not a terrible looking guy. He looks like he's in the best shape of his life. And I don't know. But poor Rusev. And that was just a dumb way to end a Raw. Maybe not the worst thing I've seen, but definitely one of the worst, dumbest endings of Raw. It was almost uncomfortable to watch. I'm gonna take a swig of my drink. I ate waffles earlier, and that was probably a bad idea. Alright, so let's get to the meat and potatoes of tonight's show. The Wednesday Night Wars. Dun dun dun. I would have some music to play, but as you guys noticed from last week's show, not last week, but the 100th show, I tried playing my new theme by Yuck Nasty. Shout out to Yuck Nasty. And for whatever reason, it wasn't going through. Nobody could hear it. So, anyways, I guess I'll just maybe... Should I start with NXT first and then AEW? Or just, go back and forth? Because, here's what happened. I had NXT on the TV, and then I was watching AEW on my phone. I was just kind of going back and forth, which is a pain in the ass, by the way. I mean, if any, I think they should have put AEW on Thursdays, or maybe NXT on Thursdays, because it is seriously a pain in the ass trying to go back and forth and pay attention. I guess I can start with AEW first, since the new kid on the block. So the show opens with a big intro. It begins with Cody versus Sasha, please correct me if I say this wrong. Sammy Guevara? I guess that's it. Yeah, that's it. So yes, Sammy Guevara versus Cody. Good match. I literally have no idea who Sammy Guevara is. And granted, I don't even know most of the roster in AEW, but I have never even heard of that guy. I mean, a good match. I mean, somebody correct me if I'm wrong. Is Cody supposed to be the face? He's supposed to be the face, and yet he was doing an awful lot of heel stuff. He did stuff in the match that it looked like something a heel would do. Like there was a spot in the match where Brandy hits Sammy in the face with her shoe, and then Cody goes for the pin. That doesn't seem like something a face would do, in my opinion. And then he wins by a roll up. Again, you know, in all actuality, Cody should have just beat the shit out of Sammy in this match because Sammy is. And I'm not trying to say I'm like, you know, the pinnacle of, you know, manliness and fitness, but Cody looks bigger. He looks a lot more bigger and thicker than Sammy. Sammy looks like a guy that works at Hot Topic. He comes to the ring with, you know, like this really cool hip hop, you know, song, and he's wearing a fucking panda hoodie or mask or whatever the fuck it is, which immediately took me out of the match. So in all actuality, Cody should have just won defiantly. He should have won defiantly with his move. He shouldn't have gone for a roll-up. After Sammy missed his move, Cody should have just, you know, slapped on whatever the hell his, you know, finishing move is. I think it's like I don't know if he still does that move that he did as Stardust or, you know, Cody Rhodes in WWE, but he should have just done that move and just pinned him and not gone for a roll-up. I don't know. The match was okay. It wasn't like terrible, but it was okay. So he wins, but he wins with that. He talks to Tony Schiavone, and then Sammy, you know, grabs him, pulls him around, and then shakes his hand. Jericho comes out and beats the shit out of Cody, and that's about. After that, there's like a couple of just random vignettes. There's a vignette with what is it? What is it? SCU. SoCal Uncensored, and you know they're talking, and you know the black guy I think was it not Too Cold Scorpio? No, it's not that. I'm sorry. I'm just forgetting names. I'm not familiar with a lot of the people on the roster, but was Scorpio Sky? I think that's his name. Is it? So he comes out, talks a little shit, and then the Lucha Bros come out and they talk shit, and they start fighting, and they get pulled apart. Afterwards, the Best Friends, I think that's their name. They come out and they get in, and sitting at ringside is Jay and Silent Bob, Kevin Smith, and Jay Muse, who were invited to the show by Jericho because I know Jericho and Kevin Smith are pretty good friends, and pretty much acting their role. They showed earlier that. It was Jericho, I think it was Tony Khan, it was Smith and Muse, posing with the brand new AEW tag titles, which they actually look pretty cool. Oh my god. And they showed some on Twitter where Joey Janela was, you know, doing a skit with Smith and Jay Muse's Jay and Silent Bob. Joey Janela is from New Jersey, and you know, in actuality, Kevin Smith is from Jersey, and so is Jay Muse, and they're acting like their roles on screen, which I thought was pretty funny. And so Private Party comes out and stops the Best Friends from beating up Smith and Muse. So far, the tag team division in AEW is just, in my opinion, is really nothing special to me. It just seems like they're, you know, Kevin Castle said it best. It just seems like they're all catchphrase and what's the word? They're all flash and no substance. It just seems like they're nothing but catchphrases, except for the Lucha Bros. But other than that, no one else is that interesting. I mean, maybe LAX, but you know, What was the next match? MJF versus Brandon Cutler, I think is his name. MJF comes out and salts the crowd, does what he does. He's entertaining. He's one of the very few guys in the business that actually acts like a heel. Like, he's not trying to be like certain people, Cody, who acts like a heel online and then wants to go in the ring and act like he's Jesus. I'm gonna lay back for a bit because I'm getting a little... man. Okay. So, yeah, MJF, he gets it. He's one of those very few guys, not just in AEW, but in the whole business, that it seems like he gets it. He knows what role he needs to play. So he went out there and beat Cutler. So there's that. What was the next match? Next match was... It was Pac versus Adam Page. Pretty good match. Nice solid match back and forth. Pac winning, clean over Page, which I thought was kind of odd because they just built up Page as being, the guy who could be the world champion against Jericho. And then he loses clean to Pac. Which I don't have anything against Pac. I like Pac. But my whole thing was, I just assumed this is what was going to happen. That they gave it to Jericho because Jericho's a name. People know who Jericho is. You're going to tune into AEW because you're going to see more familiar faces. And you're going to want to make guys like Omega and, the Young Bucks, MJF, and especially Page, you're going to want to make them more familiar with the casual crowd that just watches WWE. I just assumed that was going to happen. Because out of all the elite guys, I think Page is the one you can make into a star. He seems like he's more TV ready. So they have him lose clean to Pac after he just had, this big match with Jericho at their last pay-per-view. I don't know. To me, that's just... I don't know if they want to make Pac into a thing. Because he just beat Omega, and now he just beat Page. It'd be interesting if they made Pac into, a star. Maybe not a star, but do something with him. I don't know. So, moving on. Next match on the card, the first ever... The finals, or not the finals. Riho versus Nyla Rose to determine the first ever AEW Women's Champion. All in all, I made my statements with it. I don't think Nyla Rose should have been in this match, and it's just pointing out the obvious. This is for the women's title. Give it to, and if this ruffles any feathers, I'm sorry, but you give it to a woman. Nyla Rose is not a woman. She was born a man. You give it to someone who was born a woman. Britt Baker should have been in this match. I don't got anything against Riho. I mean, as I said earlier, it looks like Riho is uncomfortable with being in the ring. I think Seth Washington, he put on, her facial expressions aren't really that great, but she looks good in the ring. Which she is. But, Nyla Rose, they chose the wrong person. In my opinion. They chose the wrong person to be in this match. It should have been Britt Baker to begin with. And this is just me saying it. These are other women saying the same thing too. Shout out to Trez. Trez made the same statement as me. She put it a little better than me, but she made the same statement as me. So, yeah, Riho won. So good for her. After the match, Nyla beats her up. And then Kenny Omega, for some reason, decides to come out and make the save. And that goes into the main event, which ends up being Kenny Omega and the Young Bucks, the Elite, versus Jericho and LAX. Well, they're not known as LAX. LAX is Impact owned, or owned by what you call it, Anthem. Anthem. There you go. So they have to go by their actual names. So the match ended, or not? It didn't end in no contest, but here how the match went. Very fast pace, and then Moxley comes in and beats up Omega, which for whatever reason they didn't call DQ on it. I had it on mute, so I don't know if they said this is no disqualification, blah blah blah, or AEW's playing by their own rules. I don't know. So Moxley comes out, beats up Kenny, and they have a fight in the back, and he ends up giving him dirty deeds or a butterfly DDT onto a glass coffee table, which that looked like it hurt. Like, even if you carefully choreograph that still looks like it hurts. I mean, hopefully that was fake glass, but that's still. But hopefully that was fake glass. That's all I'm gonna say. So we go back to the actual match. Kenny Omega not in the match anymore. It ends with Jericho pinning one of the Young Bucks for the win. And then Cody comes out, beats up Jericho. They have a fight. Sammy Guevara comes out, and then not Cody, but Dustin comes out, defends his brother, and then the big debut, Jake Hager, formerly known as Jack Swagger, comes out and just beats the shit out of everybody. Jake Hager looks good. He kind of looks the same like he did in WWE. He looks a little bit more, what's the word? Like, he has a little bit more sizzle on that steak. He looks like he has a fire lit under him. So I'm glad to see him in AEW. I'm glad to see him get a chance. I've heard good things about his MMA career. I don't watch MMA, but I've heard good things that he's actually doing pretty good over there. He's beating the shit out of everybody. So hopefully they use that as a thing to get him over in AEW. So that's how AEW ends. I would rate it. I'll give it a 7 out of 10. I thought the show was good. I thought the production was good. The one thing that two things that AEW needs to really, survive is they need to keep it up every week. They need to keep this momentum up every week. They need to constantly keep making good shows every week. And not just thrive on the fact of, oh, people love us, so they're going to tune into us. No, you need to promise what you are going to serve every single week. And the second thing that they need star power. They are in dire need of stars. Cody, people know who Cody is, but Cody's not a star. Jericho, everyone knows who Jericho is. He's popular. He's not he has star power, but he's not going to be a guy that can carry him for the next, 5 to 10 years. He's 48? He's about to be 50 pretty soon. You can't count on that. You need a star. You need a John Cena. You need a Roman Reigns. The Young Bucks can't do it. Kenny Omega can't do it. They need a star, or it's going to be tough for them. So I guess we can proceed into NXT. NXT begins with a intro, from Corey Taylor, because Slipknot lent their voice to NXT. Was it "You're Not Your Kind"? Nice song, by the way. The first match on the card is the NXT Championship between Matt Riddle and Adam Cole. Holy fucking shit! That match was just fucking insane. I can see why they put that on first. I would have preferred that they went on last, but I can see why they decided to put the tag team match on this. It was just non-stop action, back and forth, false counts, false finishes. These two had great chemistry. what is it? Those I call it I think, what is it called? SoCal Sunrise. That off the top rope tombstone pile driver that Adam Cole kept doing. That's just fucking insane how he just does that. They always say, "Do not try this at home. These are for professionals." Like, exactly, because only a pro like Adam Cole can pull that shit off. Great fucking match. I honestly thought Riddle was going to win. It looks like, Cole won, but it looks like two things. One, they want to wait to give Riddle that shot or that title. I mean, they maybe want to wait until the takeover at Rumble or the takeover before Mania to give him that title. I mean, personally, I think Riddle is too big for NXT. You know, you can put him on the main roster; he'll be a star. But they probably think, you know, we should probably let him wait for a bit. And also, they want to make, you know, the Undisputed Era thing. They want to say, you know, oh, they run NXT. You know, they have all the gold. They rule NXT with an iron fist. So that makes sense. So I'm glad Cole won. I like Cole. I like Riddle. I was just happy with the match. I wasn't disappointed. So I was even more happy with what happened after the match. Finn Balor returns to NXT, and this isn't. And I don't know if this is going to be he's going to be in NXT. He's going to work double duty in NXT or on the main roster. I don't know. All I know is that he came into the ring and said, you know, Finn Balor, you know, is now back in NXT. So that's pretty fucking dope. I mean, because I've said before, there's a lot of guys on the main roster who you can put on NXT. If you're not going to do anything with a lot of the guys or the girls, put them in NXT. It could benefit them. It can benefit the company. And they were not doing anything with Finn Balor for a very long time. Like, let's just be real. They were not doing anything. And it just seems like with Finn, they would give him something, and then they would take it away. It's like, we'll let you beat AJ Styles in a pay-per-view, and then the very next night we'll have you drop to Kane. For really no reason at all. And you won't do anything afterwards. We'll have you go against Brock and just go out there and get the shit beat out of you, and, you know, put in some offense and look like you're going to win. And then the very next night we'll have you feud with Bobby Lashley. It's just, I don't know. And Finn looks like he's happy with his life. He looks like he's happy doing what he does, and good for him. But come on, like, Finn deserves better. Like, he deserves to be in the spotlight. He deserved to be a champion. I mean, he was a champion, then he got hurt. You know, that damn Seth Rollins. So I'm glad Finn is in NXT. Him versus Cole, or someone else. So you'll find out later on. So the next match on the card was Io Shirai versus Mia Yim. I fucking love Io Shirai. I made that very clear. I think she's the best woman in the company. At this very moment, she's the best woman in the company. I love her music, by the way. Her music is pretty catchy. That's something I want as my ringtone. I agree with Mish. The whole coming out and, like, acting crazy thing, it doesn't work. I mean, it doesn't bother me because she's fucking fun as shit, but she should do more of the, you know, snobby, you know, Japanese girl, you know, shtick. Instead of doing the whole, I'm a crazy girl thing. She needs to come out and just like kind of like roll her eyes at people and be like, I'm better than all you fuckers. You all wish you were me. You all wish you can look like me. Your men want your men want me, and your women want to be just like me. Like, that should be her fucking MO. That should be her whole character, her whole shtick. But, you know, I don't know. That's just me. So she comes out there and has a match with Mia Yim. Mia Yim I like, but she does nothing for me. in my opinion. Like, she just doesn't do it for me. The whole, the HBIC gimmick, I don't really, I get it and I don't get it. I mean, because, you send her backstory that she grew up in, South Central LA or Compton or something. I mean, cool, but that gimmick I've seen more than once. I mean, she's basically, female Asian Conan. The best way I can think of that. But, yeah, that gimmick doesn't do much for me. Io Shirai wins, which she should. Now we're going to move on to the, what was the next match on the card? It was Shayna Baszler versus Candice LeRae. Another good match. I don't agree with Candice being in this match because whatever, but they wanted to give her something since Johnny was on. Since I don't want to be that dude who says she's fucking she's fucking Johnny Gargano, so she's talented, but I don't know if she should have been. I just don't think she should have been in this match. Anyways, another good match. I knew there was no chance in hell that Candice was going to win. You keep the belt on Shayna. I think if there's anyone that can beat her, it's going to be Rhea. Or, fuck it, have her win and take the title to the main roster. Why the fuck not? Because if Rhea's not going to beat her, then who the fuck else is going to beat her? Because I love Scarlett Bordeaux, but sure as shit isn't going to be Scarlett Bordeaux. So you I don't know, just have Shayna just keep the title as long as she fucking wants, and have her go to the main roster with the title. Fuck it. Or from what I hear, they're not even going to bring a lot of people from NXT to the main roster. So just have her keep that title for as long as she fucking wants. Until somebody that looks more believable is going to beat her. That's the best way I can put it. But if anyone's going to beat her, let it be Rhea. If it's not Rhea, then don't even bother letting somebody else try to beat her. Next match on the card. I'm trying to think who the fuck. There's Johnny Gargano versus, I think, Shane Thorne. That's his name. I was trying to wonder who the fuck that guy was, and somebody told me. I think it was Seth Washington. He was in a tag team called TM61, which I vaguely remember that tag team. And I think somebody was saying he was in Japan or whatever, but I literally had no clue who this guy was, and he was going out there and getting a lot of offense in on Johnny Gargano, and he looked good up there. And I'm thinking, so are they gonna let him win over Johnny? Are they actually gonna let him beat Johnny Gargano and try to make him into a thing? Which no, Johnny Gargano wins, which is good for him. But we'd like to see more of that guy. Not in that type of way, but I would like to see more of him. To see what he can do. He looked pretty interesting out there. Next match is Pete Dunne versus Pete Birch. What was it, Pete Birch? I'll just call him Birch. Pete Dunne versus Birch, who came out to Oni Lorcan's music because, I forgot they're in tag team. Another solid match. It's one thing I like about British wrestling is they just beat the shit out of each other. It looks like they are really beating the fuck out of each other. I mean, yeah, Japanese wrestling, it looks like they're being a little stiff in the ring. But with the Brits, they're really passionate about their wrestling. Because I have not watched NXT UK. And I feel bad for it. Because I've heard nothing but good things. I heard the crowd's pretty hot for it. I didn't even get a chance to watch that NXT, show that happened a few weeks ago. And I heard it was pretty fucking good. From what I've seen, not just from this match, but from clips, though, the Brits just really go out there and just lay it in. They look like they just want to beat the shit out of each other. And good. Wrestling 101. Make it look believable. So Pete Dunne wins. The lights go out, and you have... I'm forgetting fucking names. I'm terrible tonight. he was Punishment Martinez, which I don't know why they didn't go with that name. But what the fuck did they call him? Damian Priest? Yeah, Damian Priest. He comes out, lays out, done. It's a big reaction. So what exactly is his gimmick? Damian Priest, because is he supposed to be like a rock star? He's supposed to have that rock star gimmick? He has an interesting look. I'll say that much. He has an interesting look. Granted, I haven't really seen him that much, because I remember the last time I saw him, he had a match on NXT, and I just kind of looked back and went, I don't know, I'm not sure about him. Not that he's bad. There's something I just wasn't sure about. So I obviously need to watch more of him to kind of get his gimmick. So, yeah, we'll see more of him. And then the main event ended up being the Street Profits versus Undisputed Era. Street Profits came out with Wale, who introduced him to the crowd. WWE sure does love Wale. I'll be honest, I never heard one song from him. Granted, I don't listen to a lot of rap, but I can at least know some songs. I don't think I've ever heard a song from him that came out on the radio. That's just my opinion. Introduce them to the crowd. Undisputed Era comes out, and as usual, they have a really good match. Good storytelling, good back and forth action. It was obvious that, again, you knew the Undisputed Era was going to win, was going to end up, being winners tonight. Roderick Strong comes out and costs. What happened? Was it Dawkins? I think it was Dawkins or Montel Ford. Or Montez. Did I say Montel? Montez Ford was going for a top rope move. Roderick Strong ends up kind of distracting him. And then the Undisputed Era, does their move on him, pins him 1, 2, 3. They celebrate in the ring as champions. Adam Cole is at the top of the entrance stage, congratulating them. All of a sudden, you hear Tommaso Ciampa's music play. Tommaso Ciampa is now officially back, which is good for him. It's good to have him back. I liked him better as a heel, personally, but now he's back as a face, which, we'll make that work. So, how is that going to work? So, is it going to be Finn Balor and Tommaso Ciampa versus Cole? Or are they going to do something else with Finn Balor? Because Finn Balor came out specifically for Adam Cole. I don't know. I'm interested to see where this goes. I'm very interested to see where this goes. So, NXT was light years ahead of AEW. Like, I'm sorry for all the AEW fans out there, but it was light years ahead of AEW. Because I did say I had AEW on mute for the most part. When I did turn the sound back on, the crowd did not seem as hyped as they were for some of these matches. Because, for example, the women's title match in AEW, the crowd was not that hyped for it. I turned on the women's title match on NXT. Full Sail University, a smaller arena, of like a very small arena, and the crowd is like fucking apeshit crazy for the match. So, NXT, granted, it has, the WWE machine behind it. So it kind of has a head start. AEW, there's no excuse why it shouldn't be as good or even better. It has TNT behind it. It has, one of the biggest, longest running, cable, channels, or one of the most longest running, channels in America. They had a wrestling company back in the day. They run the NBA, they run March Madness. So there's no reason why AEW shouldn't be as good or even better. But AEW, to me, NXT, took the win tonight. It had better matches. The crowd seemed a lot more hyped for it. Has a lot more star power. To me, I don't know. I don't want to be a Debbie Downer, but AEW needs stars. They need to either create stars or they need to go out and get them. Because if no one is watching because they have no idea who's on the show, then they're going to be in trouble. That's just my opinion. Kenny Omega is not a star. I'm sorry. He's a very good wrestler, very talented, but he's not a star. Cody is not a star. The Young Bucks are not stars. And, they just made a deal, and AEW just made a deal with Hot Topic. They're going to show up in DC Comics, or they're going to have their own DC comic. And that's good, but it still isn't going to mean anything if you don't have any stars, if your show has less, it has bad ratings. If you can't get, 2.5s, or if you can't at least get like 2.5s every week, you're going to be in trouble. And don't get me wrong, guys. I want AEW to succeed. I want them to succeed. I want there to be another wrestling company, another big wrestling promotion, in America. I want the Wednesday Night Wars, or the Tuesday Night Wars, or the Thursday Night Wars. I want there to be another option as a fan. For the longest time, there was no option. TNA looked like it was going to be that option, but then what happened. So now we have another option, which is good. So I'm hoping AEW succeeds. I hope it thrives. I hope it is around for the next 5 years. I want them to succeed, and I will be watching every Wednesday night to see what happens. But again, NXT won the night. 8.5 out of 10, in my opinion. Best match of the night, obviously, hands down, Cole and Riddle. That was just an insane fucking match. But yeah, NXT won the night, by far. So that's a lot of wrestling talk. We're now 46 minutes in. What else can we talk about? I guess we can kind of end the show a little early talking about Spider-Man now back in the MCU. As of last Friday? Last Friday or Saturday, it was announced that Sony and Disney decided to play nice and work it out and keep Spider-Man in the MCU. And let me pull up the facts. On Screen Rant. Come on. Alright. Where the fuck is the new deal? The new deal between, and this is from ScreenRant.com, the new deal from Marvel Studios and Sony Pictures only covers 2 more films. There will be Spider-Man Homecoming 3, which it's obviously not going to be called that, due in July 16th of 2021, and bringing an end to Tom Holland's Spider-Man trilogy and another mystery Marvel movie. Both of these will be produced by Marvel Studios President Kevin Feige. Terms of the agreement have changed a little, though. There are reports that Disney will now receive 25% of the profits from Spider-Man 3, but will expect it to pay a roughly quarter of the production costs as well. Interestingly, it's believed that Sony Pictures chief Tom Rothman, known to be a tough negotiator, had actually offered up 25% in co-financing agreement, but that Marvel and Disney had walked away. Given that's the chance, it's hard not to get the impression that Sony came out on top of this renegotiation, with Marvel ultimately signing up to their proposal. Meanwhile, there's some evidence that Sony retains a level of access to Tom Holland's Spider-Man themselves under the new terms of the deal. Sony has always wanted to find a way to incorporate Spider-Man into their universe, or into their developing villains universe, which kicked off with Venom and will continue with 2020's Morbius. The press release from... Yeah, they're watching a movie back there. The press release from Marvel and Sony contained a hint that they will finally get their wish. Spider-Man also happens to be the only hero with a superpower to cross cinematic universe, Feige observed in the official statement. So as Sony continues to develop their own Spideyverse, you never know what surprises the future might hold. It looks as though Spider-Man will join Sony's villains universe as well, although at this stage no details have been made public. Alright, so basically, all we know is Spider-Man's back. He's back where he belongs. I said on day one that there's no way that they're not going to work this out. They gotta. Because that movie, Far From Home, it was weird because you come out and, it's the first Spider-Man movie to top $1 billion. And then it comes out saying that Far From Home was the most successfully, financially the most successful, Sony movie in history. It topped James Bond movie. James fucking Bond. And then the news comes out, oh, we're not going to do business with them anymore. Sorry, no more Spider-Man. It's like, the fuck? So, I found it hard to believe that they weren't going to work it out. Because both sides are wrong. Disney looked like they were more wrong. Bob Iger, to me, was wrong. They should have just kept the deal that they already had in place. But again, they wanted to play hardball. And, of course, Julian Cannon, who's a lot more privy to this stuff than me. He said on a show a while back, Sony's going to play a little bit more hardball. But again, I always knew that they were going to come back. That Spider-Man was going to come back. There is no way that he wasn't. Especially with the way Far From Home ended. Spoilers, with Mysterio exposing Spider-Man's secret. That he's really Peter Parker, gassed. So, Spidey's back. Tom Holland's back. The news came out yesterday that Tom Holland was instrumental in bringing him back. He was at D23, which was literally the week of this whole Spidey mess. And what I heard was that he went there to promote a movie with Chris Pratt, which is one of their animated Pixar movies or whatever. And so he was just supposed to go out there and promote the movie, and then he came out, and did something he wasn't supposed to do. He talked to the crowd and just said, I love you all 3,000. And that's what kind of prompted, Sony and Disney to just say, let's work this out. Not just for the fans, but also for him. Because he seems like he really wants to play this role for the rest of his life. And Tom Holland has said before, I want to play Spider-Man until I can't walk. And it looks like he would just be fine playing Spider-Man for the rest of his life. Which, we'd be fine with it. And now they're back. Now they worked everything out. Now they're playing nice. So, the last 5 fucking weeks has been insane. This has been going on. The whole thing between Sony and Disney has been going on for 5 weeks. 5 weeks and 3 days. Up until when they finally decided to make up. So, again, I'm happy Spider-Man is back. I'm interested to see what they do. Because, Kevin Feige just said, Spider-Man can walk in different universes. He can go to different universes. So, it looks like he's going to be used by both Marvel and Sony in their own movies. Because, again, Spider-Man can go to different universes. So he's going to be doing MCU movies and Spider-Verse movies, which I'm fucking down for. I pitched the idea that Spider-Man 3 should be split into 2 movies, kind of like Infinity War, where one movie is about him fighting, the Sinister Six, and then Part 4 is about him enlisting help of more Spider people, like Gwen Stacy, like Miles Morales, like Andrew Garfield, Tobey Maguire. That will be fucking dope. If they can do that. They already have my money. You not only have my money, you have my fucking, you have my house. I'll give you the keys to my freaking car if you do that. But if I can see them interact with, like, their villains, see him interact with Tom Hardy's Venom, see him interact with Morbius, that'd be pretty fucking dope. I would love to see that happen. And, they want to make more, Sony wants to make more Spider-Verse or Spider-Villain movies, because they're going to do a Madam Web movie, which sounds interesting. I don't know how they're going to pull that off, but they probably can. They're doing a Kraven the Hunter movie, which, that's fucking dope. I'm just interested. I mean, regardless, if it has DC or Marvel in it, they have my fucking money. They're always going to have my fucking money, regardless. What else are we going to talk about? I think that's it. That's pretty much all I have for the show. That's the whole show in general. Thank you to anyone who's listening live on Spreaker, and thank you to everyone who showed up in the chat room. Shoutouts to Wrestling Soup. Wrestling Soup, make sure to go to their Patreon for just $5. You can get all types of cool shit like a little body with John Draper. Shout out to John Draper. DTKC, always on Monday nights after Raw. Make sure to head to their Patreon for just $5. You get shows like Breakfast Soup with Mish and DT. You get Kevin Castle. Kevin Castle has 2 shows. Can you believe that? They got 2 shows. Jesus. I'm playing Kev. He has a solo show called Castle Chronicles, and then he has a show called Dark Chronicles featuring him and Trez, the lovely lady Trez, good friend of the show. I would love to get Trez back on sometime. You get Texas Podcast Massacre. If you love horror movies, these guys are going to do the job for you. They review horror movies, past and present. They review, really, even those like cheesy B movies, and they make it entertaining. You can pretty much find them anywhere. Don't forget to listen to Tyler the Trademark Show. You can find that anywhere. Good friend of the show. Julian Cannon of the Wrestling Court. Here Comes the Judge. You can find him on Spotify. Shout out to Rob. What's going on, Rob? Probably forgetting the Architect Podcast. Listen to them. Peter Position with Peter. Might be forgetting other shows. If I'm forgetting anybody, I'm sorry. Kind of tired. So, anyways, guys, that is the end of the show. That is the end of the show. Like I just said, for the second time. You'll be seeing me. You'll be hearing from me next week. Actually, I don't want to get anyone's hopes up. I might be doing a show tomorrow. I'm thinking about seeing the Joker movie. If I have a little extra scratch left over, I might just be doing an extra show tomorrow. I don't know. You never know. You never know what I have in store, what I have in my head, what kind of surprises I have up my sleeve. Anyways, guys, take care. God bless. And drive home safe. Laters.